Rocket League fans from across the globe. I'm your host, Pez. Welcome to the Bangers and Clangers podcast, episode 5. Hope you all have had an amazing week. What an absolute banger of a main event we had in OCE, SAM, MENA, APAC, SSA, NA. Oh my gosh, so many things happening around the globe. Hope that music got you hyped, by the way, because I was dancing. I tell you what. Let's head into our clanger and banger of the week. So, bangers, clangers, this is what we do. First up here, the banger of the week shooting. We had Wolfdick, Keckles, and Juck. Now, let me tell you, I had this team in 13th to 14th region, and they made the top 8. That's right, the top 8, their first ever top 8, 100%. Wolfdick played outstanding. They beat Long Red Cordial, which is Creed, Spy Doge, sorry, and Hawk. They beat them in the 5th round of the Swiss to qualify. Yes, they did get 4-0'd by Power, but a learning experience for them, and well done to those guys. Absolute banger performance, banger weekend for them. I was watching their what do you call it? Their team stream. I was watching that live. Their people, their friends, they were so hyped. It was amazing to watch. So banger of the week definitely goes to them. Over in NA though, we did have a couple of clangers. The first one, Dignitas. What happened there? They didn't even make top 8. I had them in top 4. I think Moldy had them 5th or something. But yes, they didn't make the top 8, and surprise to everyone. We'll talk about more NA stuff later, but Dig was the biggest surprise coming out of there, not even making it through the Swiss. So, and the second clanger is Rettles, the grand finals, game 2. I don't have any footage, but I'll talk you through it. So, game 2, they're up, right? They're 2-1 or 3-2. It might have even been 3-1. Actually, I think it was 3-1 up, right? They're playing time, about a minute 30 left. About a minute 30 left. And I was thinking the same thing as Reddles when I was watching. I was thinking, all Luminosity need to do here is take time off the clock and they'll win. So Reddles has a ball in front of the net, an easy shot that could have put pressure on. Instead, he decides to fake it out. And what happens? I think it was beast mode. Beast mode sees Reddles trying to play time, shoots it on net. That's a goal, 3-2. Then it comes to the kickoff. Reddles cheats upfield. All of a sudden it's 3-3. And that was it. The momentum that Luminosity had, gone. That was a 4-1, I think it was. But that was what cost them the series. Reddles, a couple of huge plays that definitely could have gone their way, but didn't. So that was my other clanger of the week. But yeah, let's quickly get into the player spotlight. I'm gonna load this one up. I got Moldy Shoe there. Let's have a gaze, see what I can do with this one. Some of Drelly's clips on the scene. So we're doing it a bit different this week. Unfortunately, due to work, I didn't have enough time to pre-record some audio. But we've got some of Drelly's clips here, and I wanted to make this guy my spotlight because last week he made his debut, and it was a great one. They came 4th. They came close to beating KC, but just off the mark a little bit. This kid has so much potential. As you can see from these amazing clips, I mean, a flip reset into a double touch over a defender. They had their nerves, BDS. Obviously, he's around a great crew in Exotic and Monkey Moon. Monkey Moon, obviously, a world champion, and Exotic has been in the finals before and has been up there for a very long time, and he is just starting to peak, it seems, from his 1200 performance, 1200 point game last week in the semi-finals. So Drelly, a newcomer, but surrounded by veteran talent. And in this 3v3 game mode, it is very important to have great support around you. Drelly coming in, he was very good in Salt Mine. He made it very far. I think it was the semi-finals. I could be wrong, honestly. I didn't follow it that much. But you know, young prospect, BDS clearly backing him in. Monkey Moon wanted him. They built around Monkey Moon. They had Rise and Seiko, and they wanted to build around Monkey Moon, the veteran of the EU scene, been around for a very long time. And Drelly is the newcomer. So from Morocco, there's two players from Morocco. One is now in NA in NAS, and the other one is Drelly. Some salt mine clips here actually from Johnny Boy's stream. He has outstanding mechanics, outstanding read of play. His 2v1 capability is off the charts, and his 1v1 ability has been shown on stream in clutch moments. So he mechanically, you can't really fault him. The pressure was on the weekend. He did fold a little bit, I must admit, in a very, I would say, a high pressure moment against KC. Obviously, the reverse sweep from KC was very impressive, but Drelly was one of those players where it got to about the sixth, no, I would say the fifth, sixth, and seventh game of the reverse sweep when KC was really starting to push. They kind of eliminated him from the game and put a lot of pressure on the youngster, and he did seem to miss a couple, but that's just growing pains. They will definitely make the major in my personal opinion, BDS, and Drelly will perform there as the what you would call in RLCS the rookie of the major. He's one of the biggest rookies on the scene at the moment, and he will step up this coming major. Just the learning curve for him in this first qualifying regional. So yeah. So Moldy, welcome back. Now I want to, Moldy, you're on now. Just so you know, say hi. Say hi.
Hello.
Say hi.
Thanks for having me back. Appreciate it. Ready
Ha-
to talk lots of
having,
things in Rocket League.
oh, aren't we? Seriously, Moldy, it is great to have you back. Obviously, last week was your first week.
Yep.
Everyone that I heard from loved having you on. So keep up what you're doing. So
Those kind words.
do you want to kick it off? Let's start, eh? We do
Let's
seem
start.
to kind of carry on a bit, so let's crack in.
Let's go.
First on the agenda, we're going to start by going around the world today. Our winners from the other regions. Did you watch any of the other region kind of stuff, or?
Yes, I was keenly watching OC, mainly because of my bold prediction from last week with
Yes.
KCP in fifth. And
Yes.
what happened? KCP in fifth, losing out to Chiefs in seven. I felt pretty good after that one.
Yeah.
But no, it was good to see Chiefs regain. Bit of a shock seeing Carcass Minions going out a bit earlier, but otherwise, yeah, OC is looking really good actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, and I mean we'll touch more on OCE in a little bit, but
Yes.
I gotta say we are looking good. But when I was watching Power against a couple of the kind of, I guess you could say, lower end teams, they didn't look that strong.
Power specifically. Yeah, no, but that tends to happen when
Yeah,
you're versing teams that are not they drag you down to your level in
yeah,
many ways. But I
that
guess we won't know until we get to LAN, much like a bunch of other teams, which we'll talk about as well.
absolutely. All right, well, let's quickly slide through the winners. Here we go. The winners of the other regions. So in MENA, we had the Falcons taking out that one over Rule 1.
Yep.
Did you catch up on any of the other regions or not really? Because me personally, I didn't. This is my first time looking at the results.
Oh wow, okay. So I know I caught up on NA obviously,
Yeah,
G2 going back to back there.
yeah,
Bit of OCE. I've looked at the results for SSA and MENA. Um,
yeah.
and obviously EU with their first qualifier and some of the open qualifiers, which I definitely want to talk about
Yeah,
later on too.
yeah,
But yeah, no,
definitely.
keep going through them, and we can talk about them.
So we had Falcons winning in Mina, and then we had the Limitless beating Young Money Clan again, it seems.
Yeah,
Limitless, obviously, just still ahead of the game in SSA. And in APAC, we had Gaming Gladiators actually taking out this time instead of Elevate.
yeah, yeah.
So,
No, that was good for them. They obviously struggled the first regional, but
yes.
I realistically, I think they're still the number one team in
Do
that
you
region.
really?
I thought,
Wow.
yeah, I think Elevate were very, very good, but that was largely because they got on the opposite side of Gaming Gladiators, and Game Gladiators obviously dropped that series. I can't remember to who exactly
Yeah.
in that first regional, but I don't think they're going to do that again in the third.
I think,
So
yeah,
yeah,
Gaming Gladiators definitely have the upper hand in terms of talent. And Marky Doda, I did not know he was captaining that side, or coaching, I should
it-
say.
yeah, no, he's everywhere in that region. He's shout out Marky.
Yeah, Marky just doing what he does, just sliding in the gaps, I guess. Um, so Gaming Gladiators, that's going to be an interesting last qualifier because they will be fighting neck and neck for the regional spot because there's only one in APAC. So that will be an interesting one
Yeah,
to keep
no,
our eyes on.
imagine if it came down to the grand final between those two. How
That would
hype would that be?
honestly, that would be very hype. And
I'm
Furia
hoping for that.
actually took it out in Sam. They beat Complexity 4-1 in the semis, who took out the last regional win. So
Yeah, I think they also beat them in Swiss as well. So
did they?
that was interesting. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they
Which was
did. 3-1.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. So that was good to see from them. They're obviously starting to gel now, and it looked like Complexity had them beat in that first regional, obviously with that 4-0.
Yeah.
But you know, now it's looking like Furia might have their number. I'll be curious to see how Complexity come back if they ever verse them again.
And even
But
Team Secret took him to a game 7. So it seems like the rest of Sam have caught up or either Complexity have slowed down. So,
yeah, that's true. I think what do you call it? Sam has so much depth in it. It's in many ways it's like EU where a bunch of these teams can peak
yeah.
one day and just take out those top teams because there's so much depth.
Yeah.
So Sam's like if you're a Sam fan right now, you're absolutely loving it
Oh,
at the moment.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
absolutely great.
Especially when it
Yeah.
comes to the semifinals as well. Like you just don't know who's going to take those games. Like even Ninjas in Pajamas, they got challenged by a team I've never W7M. I don't even know who they are, but they took them to a game
Oh,
6. So that's pretty impressive.
yeah. Don't underrate W7M. They were on the brink of it of making majors last season.
Were
They
they?
also have Diaz. Yeah, so Diaz was many will remember from the Salt Mine event in North America. I think he came third overall in that. So that's also another example of that depth
Yeah. Wow.
in Sam at the moment. So they're a team to watch as well in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that covers all our other regions to start with. I did definitely want to.
Formal
Oh my
casting,
gosh,
welcome.
I've made a I made a error in the production. Here we go. We're back.
Oh no.
Um, we're back. It's okay. So that covers all the other regions. So great to see all of what they're doing because when it comes to majors and worlds, we need to be updated. But mainly our focus is on OCE, NA, and EU. So OCE, let's do a little prediction check, shall we? So, like you said, you had KCP at 5, and you got that right. You're pretty happy with that one.
I was very happy with that one. Yeah, it was a bold move, but I thought it was reasonable, and obviously I was right.
Yeah, it seemed to be that way. I'm just gonna look through
I have
here.
coaches, man.
Oh gosh, what else did we have? We had those, Nookles, Pookles, and they kind of bombed out, but I guess shooting kind of stole the show, you could
Yes,
say.
they did. They did a lot better than we thought they would. We knew they were. they were on the radar, but we didn't expect them to make top 8. That was awesome for them.
Yeah, and we had one team. Oh, I wouldn't say kind of. Actually, you know what? Sorry, shooting was the only team you missed, wasn't it? You had the top 8 correct, apart from that.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I think so from memory.
I think you did.
Long Red Cordial, I had at 7, didn't I?
Yes, Long Red Cordial.
Yeah. So
That was the team they played in round 5, so that was kind
yeah,
of a
that
neck and
was a
neck
bit of an upset.
series.
Yeah, no, I expected Long Red Cordial to make it. I know Formal put them in the final. So that
I
I
know.
didn't
I
anymore.
was actually watching his team stream, and he was so disappointed. He's like, I jinxed him. He felt so bad. You can see it
Yeah,
in his
no,
face. He's like, I literally made them lose in Swiss.
he pulled a CJ.
he, he
Um,
he really did.
yeah, no, I look, I still expect them to make top 8 next regional. They're obviously it's rough going out in 5th round of Swiss.
Yep.
Um,
And you had the
but
Chiefs.
credit to shooting though.
You had the Chiefs up there too. So what? I mean, the Chiefs they pulled up. What made you so bullish on the Chiefs? Why did the Chiefs spark your interest?
I just think that players like Super. Oh, we obviously know about Gus. We've talked about Gus so much, but I
Yeah.
think of someone like Super Lucky. He's not going to be finishing 5th and 8th all the time. I expected a bit
Mm,
of a regain from him. And
yeah.
you said it last week. Hunter was going to be that question mark for that team. He was really on and off,
Yeah.
and I still think he was on and off, but
Yeah.
particularly in that series against KCP, he was more on than off,
Yes.
which helped them quite a lot.
And honestly, I personally think that might have been like more of like a grudge match because obviously it came
Yeah,
from
true.
KCP to being on the Chiefs, and that might have sparked a bit of something. But you would also think that would spark something in Scrub as well. But unfortunately, not to be. You know,
Yeah.
we both had the bus missing out, which they did.
Mm.
Obviously, a really solid team, but they forfeit again in the first round. What is going on with the bus? We actually should do some investigating on why they keep forfeiting the first round of the Swiss every time. They forfeited last time too.
Yeah, there were a couple of teams that also forfeited. I know Say Sorry had to forfeit their round 5, which was
Yeah,
unfortunate for them. I do want to say I did underestimate them a little bit, so not going to do that again because they're definitely within that ninth to
Honestly,
11th bracket.
Chiefs definitely could have not made the top 8. Okay. Oh, here's a theory. What if they're mates and they just forfeited to be like, you deserve it. We'd rather you play top
That
8 than us. Oh,
that is so true.
can we get some
We need
legal investigation here? Hang on a
Yeah, if
second. Hang
anyone
on a
knows
second.
about this, DM us.
Yes,
DM
please.
us.
We are FBI agents on the undercover,
Yeah.
and that is very sus because Misty would obviously know some of those pros in Super Lucky and Gus. That is low key kind of
Yeah.
sussy barker. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah,
you.
we're gonna have to do some investigations. Bangers and clangers, deep dive.
Deep dive will be like a four corners. We're turning into a four corners.
Yes, I'm gonna make a whole YouTube video on it and everything. Expose.
You actually kind of could. That would kind of be peak. Anyway, so we had GZ in fourth, which we were both right
Yes.
about too. So
Yeah.
they kind of they reached their peak for this regional, I think.
Yeah, they showed up. We both expected them to. I
Yeah,
think they definitely got that potential to be top 4.
they met their
Do I
match in
think
power though, didn't they?
Yeah, look, that series was rough for them. I don't think anyone expected that to go any other way, to be honest with you. I thought maybe a game or two. Obviously, it was a 4-0 in the end, wasn't it?
What team or teams do you think can stand up against power in OCE?
Oh, oof. Um, I think I would have said Chiefs before this event,
Really?
but
Yeah, yeah,
but they
that's fair.
obviously got smacked 4-0.
I think
So
honestly like the Chiefs are good, but they're just not complete without Hunter playing his best. That's what
no,
that.
they
Do you know what
they
I
need
mean?
another regional. They need another split for
Mm,
me to rate them at powers level.
yep.
I think the two teams for me. I think KCP is the one. They have that experience, particularly from Amphis, particularly those land players, who I think I don't think they'll necessarily beat Power, but I think they can take them to 5, 6, 7, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think Kaka's Minions before this event was definitely that one team which I thought could definitely take them
I
or
honestly
come
think they
real close.
I honestly think they still are. I think Gremlins could kind of be like a bogey team for them if that
The
makes sense.
Gremlins, yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Because
Um,
obviously they lost to them in seven, but they're kind of I guess you could say in coming up to being where Kaka's minions are in that top elite level.
yep,
Cobo and Caleb, they are kind of like the gatekeepers, if you will, of the top eight. So they could
yep.
definitely be like a bogey kind of thing. I think they definitely still could take games off Power, even though they lost in that quarterfinals.
Oh yeah, I think if I had to pick, Kaka's Minions and KCP are the two teams. So
Yeah,
let's say who could take it to Power.
no, I definitely agree with you there. All right, well, honestly, I hope I can get this up. Do you know how to get standings up?
Oh, you're gonna have to let me get on Wikipedia real quick. But I believe you go to finals from memory
Finals, okay.
or ranking. Oh, there should be rankings actually.
Rankings. Oh yeah,
Yep.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
Yeah, top
Oh,
tier
here we go. Here we go.
production.
Okay, we're
There
we're
you go.
gonna. Oh, it's kind of okay. We're gonna go through the. Well, I guess Europe doesn't really matter yet because it's only been the first qualifier. But let's get into some rankings, Moldy. So
Yeah.
we have Power at number one. Obviously, I'm about 100% sure Power and G2 have made the first major.
So Power G2, and I think it was who else was it? I think Falcons. Falcons have also clinched as well for
Oh,
MENA.
yes. Yes, they have with 32. Rule 1 definitely looking like the second best there.
Definitely, those two teams are well above
Sam
the rest of them.
Sam is very competitive. Wow.
Oh yeah, Sam is spicy as I still think Complexity should do it, but hey, if they get knocked out in the quarterfinals by a
I,
crew
I tell
like
you
ninjas in
I
pajamas,
tell you what,
who
a
knows?
complexity ninjas in pajamas quarterfinal would be immaculate. That would be
That
next level.
that would be exactly what ninjas in pajamas would hope for. I
Yes.
think
Well,
that's exactly what they want.
that's the thing. When you're a team playing in the RLCS, you hope to play the team that you're going to be knocking out because you have full control. That's the
Yeah.
thing. That's the thing in Rocket League is a lot of the time you actually don't have full control over the points or the rankings or where you come. But when you have the ability to have that full control, you're completely right. They will want to be playing complexity in the quarterfinals for a chance to go to the major, 100%. And
Yep.
complexity would be dreading that game.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
that would be very interesting. So obviously in OC we have power. They're definitely going, but a three-way tie for second between the Gremlins, KCP, and Chiefs.
Yeah, it is real tight in OC, and don't even count out Ground Zero and Kaka's minions. If they
No,
make a top
definitely
two,
not.
if you make a top two, Kaka's minions, if they do what they did in the first regional, they could very well make it.
Yep. It only takes one win. I mean, a win's worth 16 points, so and that puts you well ahead of second. So
Yep.
I mean, even if Kaka's minions come third or fourth, because you're obviously thinking Power's gonna make the final. If Kaka's
Mm,
minions or Ground Zero show up on their day, or even KCP and beat Power in the final, they move into second spot, and
yeah.
it's going to be a lot of pressure on Chiefs, I think.
Oh, it will be.
I,
I want to
I,
pose a question to you.
yeah, yeah,
Who do you think is going to take that second spot?
that's so tough. I'll give you two. I'll give you who I think and who I hope.
Yep.
So I hope Kaka's minions.
Yep.
I really because in OCE I think they're the most solid team. They've been playing together for such a long time, and I think their play style can make damage at on the world stage, like majors and stuff.
Yep.
So that's who I hope make it, and realistically, who I think will make it, I think KCP will clutch up. I think Fiber, Amphis, and Scrub, it's their time to shine, and when it's their time to shine, they usually don't disappoint. So I think they'll be grinding. I think they'll be really on it for this event, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them going, flawless into the Swiss, and then, placing easily top 5 in the Swiss and going from there. So
Yeah. Do you know what's crazy? I completely agree with you on that.
yeah,
Completely. I think pioneers have that experience. They can definitely, like, my brain's saying they will clutch up,
yeah,
and I don't think they're making doing that fifth to eighth inning game. I don't
yeah,
think if they come up against Chiefs, they're not joking that again.
yeah,
Um, but
definitely.
I but I but I rate Cucker's minions higher, and I want them. I want to see them on the world stage.
I honestly think
Definitely.
that all of OCE wants Cucker's minions to make it.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
And,
they
and
they
they
are
can. That's the
OC's
best. The
team.
best part about it is they're the underdog, but they can do it. You know.
Oh yeah. But the problem will be they will be hoping for Pioneers to come out at fifth, eighth again. Otherwise, they'll have to like minimum make top two.
Yeah. No, definitely. All right. Well, let's move on to a bit of NA stuff, shall we? So
Yeah.
obviously we had our predictions.
Oh yeah.
Um, you probably don't remember. It's all right. I've got them up for you. Don't even sweat
Okay.
it. We had G2 first.
Yep.
Obviously, paid dividends. That, I mean, if we could bet on Rocket League, right? Like, we would be millionaires, wouldn't we?
Oh, I think so. I think out of everybody, we are the best predictors in the world. Honestly.
I rate that comment. I rate that comment. We definitely could be the best predictors in the world. But G2 taking it out, and like, they just do it. It feels like almost too comfortable for NA. Like, I don't think I've seen a team take out 2 qualifiers like that, or 2 regionals like that, with that kind of comfortability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it reminds me of, I guess most recently it reminds me of FaZe Clan going back to back. How
Yeah,
they were so dominant. I think that was 21, 22. And then it also reminds me of the old G2 when they were at the top, obviously
yeah.
came second in that world championship, which is kind of funny to think about. But
I tell
no,
you
they
who
look
it.
so dominant.
I tell you who it
Yeah.
really reminds me of. It reminds me of the unbeatable Dignitas team.
Oh, do you reckon, really? You reckon?
Yeah, like that kind of level of just like like no one is touching G2 right now.
No,
Even
I will say though, I think Luminosity, I think you pointed it out. They had momentum at the start of that series, and that series
yes,
could have been closer, but they
yes.
completely threw it.
They
So it should
Red
be
Devils did
interesting.
throw it in that second game. In that second game, they were 3-1 up, and
Mm,
Reddles, he wanted to play time. I could see it in his play style. Something was said, and they go, "We want to play time. Let's just kill the clock." And then he fakes out a thing. He fakes something out that he would usually shoot for and maybe even score, and it goes
mm.
in their net. And then the next kickoff, he goes for boost and he cheats upfield, and it goes in their net. And I just knew at that point that the series was lost. You could just see it. I was
What what is with people and cheating upfield? First alpha, now
Oh
this?
my
Like,
gosh.
come
It's
on, come
it's
on.
we're at a stage now. It's like, are we not 8 years into this game?
You know, it's not funny anymore. I can't stand
No,
watching it.
it's actually not funny anymore. It is quite like, and it's a massive thing too. And you can see the weight that it has on the players when a kickoff goal goes in. It's not a small thing, a kickoff goal. It can be
No.
in some instances. It's like one of those things that can either be a massive deal or a small deal. And in this case, when they were 3-1 up, going to tie the series 1-1, and then out of nowhere losing the game 4-3, and then going down 2-0 and having to call a timeout, that is a massive difference just because of a kickoff.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, G2, they look, wow, they look crazy. And can I just say, like, what is going on with NA? Because The
Oh,
first the first regional, NRG, OG, they look terrible. They're never gonna make it. They're never gonna make it past Swiss ever again. And then out of nowhere, NRG, they're third. They're third through the Swiss with Drees, and then they bomb out. Like, can you please explain to me what is going? And then OG, they beat M80 out of everyone. One of the teams we had in the favorites. We thought M80, they're the team, one of the teams to beat, and they lose to OG.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to say about NRG. I'm gonna look at this real quick. So let me cook with this.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I from memory they had the mickiest run I've ever seen through the Swiss. Right. So
Yeah, they
let's
did
have a
have
look.
a pretty mickey run. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. NRG. So they lose to M80 the
Yeah,
first round. Cool, right? Then they win against G Buffo. Big whoop.
yeah,
Then
big
they
whoop. Yeah,
3-0 Luminosity out of nowhere,
yeah.
right? I'm gonna put down that
Bogey
down to
team,
Luminosity being that bad, right?
bogey
It
team.
or
Yeah,
bogey team as well, whatever, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they to qualify they versed incorrect.
That
Like
that is pretty
it,
crazy, actually.
it's the mickiest run possible.
Like, how
And
incorrect even there? They beat TSM 3-0. Like, what?
yeah, bro, we'll get to TSM in a sec. But but NRG had the mickiest run possible, and then they reverse LG and they look abysmal. Like I was watching CJ's stream, going like analyzing the first game, and it was abysmal gameplay.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific. So NRG making top 8 and going third through the Swiss means absolutely nothing to me.
I
As
just
as
I just want to say,
yeah,
though,
yeah,
like, with Luminosity, there is one person that has been on this podcast that has called that Luminosity will make the first major, and that was Matthew. Matthew said
yeah.
it doesn't matter what happens in a regional, right? It doesn't matter what happens. Reynolds always makes the major somehow, some way. So they
It's
came
true.
second. That's big points. So they
That's
will
true.
most likely be there.
Yeah, he gets dirty. He always finds a way to get in there. I
Yeah.
you know I always had them on the edge. I put them at fourth or fifth. You know,
Yeah.
um, but it looks like now they should be able to do it, and it looks like that team is clicking and they're very clear on their play style. So I agree with Matthew. They're probably making it.
Yeah. Well, you put them at fifth and I put them at fourth. So,
Yeah.
we were both wrong, but not probably the way we thought we were going to be wrong. To be honest,
No.
I didn't
No.
I didn't picture them making the grand finals at all. And
No.
OG was kind of a big surprise. I mean, making the semis after, falling out of Swiss, and, I think they came 10th or 11th. That was a big
Uh,
turnaround.
yeah, they yeah, didn't they go 03
Actually, they
first?
might have come 15th.
Yeah,
They might have.
they came 15th, and then they were on the verge of doing that again. They were 0-2, and then they just reverse sweeped the whole Swiss and
And,
came top 4.
and I think I said last podcast, I want to give myself credit here because I think I was like spot on the ball. I said, OG, they went 0-3. I think they were overcomplicating the game. Like, there's definitely a point in Rocket League, just like any other sport, where you can just overcomplicate it. And
Yep.
on the interview with Com, I think it was, that's what he
Mm.
said. He said we were overthinking the game too much, and we went 0-2, and then their coach just said just play how you want to play, and then that's what happened. They won the next 9 games in a row after playing just how they were playing, and then they made
Yeah.
semis off that. So I think, they'll find their adjustment. They're all pros, so obviously playing at a high level constantly, they'll find their adjustment between the game style they want to play and being within their realm of capability. It's a very fine line, and those who find it are in their top tier, kind of like G2. They're kind of in between a game plan and a do what you want to do, Daniel. You know.
Oh yeah.
So I think OG found a bit of that on the weekend, and honestly, I do hope they're kind of like a Kaka's minions for me. I hope they make the major, but their first qualifying will definitely hurt them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them to try and recreate what they did in that second regional.
Yeah.
They'll be hoping to come up against like M80s or Pirates on a Boat or one of those teams in that fifth to eighth match, that quarterfinal.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, because if they come up against Gen G or Luminosity, I don't see them winning those matches. They could go close, but I don't think they're winning those matches. But hey, for the storyline, I would absolutely love them to make a major.
All right, let's have a quick gaze at the NA rankings. I'm just gonna turn. I'll be back 1 second. 1 second. All right, now we're chilling. I don't look like a ghost anymore. I had my lights off and it was starting to get dark.
Oh yeah.
Let me just fix my camera up real quick so everyone's not getting blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. All right. So, M80 and OG fighting for, and Pirates and Space Station fighting for that
Yes.
fourth spot. All on 12 points. Dignitas, they are getting chased at the heels. So, do you think Dignitas can hang on?
Uh, whew. See, Dignitas are my biggest question mark going in this event.
Wow.
For me, is the
Mm.
honeymoon period over? That's what my brain's asking right now. Because after going out like that, it's obviously it can shake the mental a little bit. But if you had asked me before the last regional, I would have said yes.
Who's their
Right
coach?
now,
Let's have a look at who their coach is. I think this is important. Right? Violent Panda. Violent Panda as the coach.
Violet Panda.
That's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He has won multiple world championships for you that don't know. He was on that Dignitas team that was, you know, undefeated for a very long time. The team that I was actually comparing G2 to earlier.
Yes.
So that's kind of crazy. I did not know. Did you know that? I did not know that.
I did know that actually, and that's largely because I researched that team that he was on for a doco, but that's another story. But
But
yeah, look, Dignitas, like I would love them to make it, but I think they're definitely in danger of getting overtaken
do you
by
think
a couple of
Luminosity are
teams.
in danger?
Um,
I mean, they're 6 points ahead of fifth, 18 and 12. The rest are on 12, 18
they
points.
are only in danger if I'm going to use M80 as an example here.
Yep.
If M80 was to make top two and Luminosity was to go out in
Mm,
quarters,
mm.
you know,
So
if that
so
then they
you
would be in
think
danger.
like so you think OG Pirates on a Boat, Space Station, that they're not really capable of that, making finals kind of potential, but M80 are definitely in that conversation.
Okay. Not necessarily. I've been bullish about M80. I've been like, this
Yeah,
team's great.
yeah,
They can do so many great things, but they haven't quite gotten there. They lost to Shopify in a match people thought they would win. They
yeah.
lost to OG,
In a
which
match
was a
pick,
bit of a boat.
same thing.
Yeah, it was a bit of a bogey match. Their playstyles clashed, so that was the worst matchup possible for them.
Yep.
So my question: are they going to make that top 3 or 4? Are they going to do that? I don't know. At this point, I'm really questioning. I would love them to make it right because I love that team.
Yeah.
Um, OG, I think, as I said, they'll find it tougher this event, and I would love them to make it, but I don't necessarily think they will. They'll be real close though,
Why do you
and I
think
think
that
Pirates.
it will be tougher this event? Because I think it will actually be easier for them this event because they've found the way they want to play.
Oh, sure. But I think because of that, they're actually going to perform decent in this WIS and
Yep.
they're going to finish in that fifth or sixth position
Yep.
and they're going to come up against like a Luminosity or a Dig
Yep.
in that quarterfinals. And personally, I don't see them winning that match.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I feel like Luminosity for OG at least is very much a bogey team. I think that's a team that they'll struggle against most times. So,
Yeah.
what about Pirates on a Boat? Can they do the
Oh,
impossible? Can
I
can
would love
can we
to
get on the
see
Pirates
Achieves on
boat? Can we get
land.
on the boat, the hype boat?
Can we get on the boat? I would love to. If they made it, I would be over the moon.
Yeah,
However,
absolutely.
my brain is telling me that they're not going to be making top two.
Can
I
I
can't I can't I can't see a world in which that's going to happen.
can I just say I watched their series against G2 and
Yep.
man, if they were playing any other team apart from G2, they would have taken at least 2 to 3 games.
Oh yeah, don't underestimate them. They're a good team. They are a
They're
real good team.
playing really good Rocket League, is what I would say. They individually they're very talented and whatnot, but as a team, when they come together and they're flowing, the only reason they didn't really take a game or like 2 to 3 games off G2 is because it's G2. Their
Yeah.
their defense peaked and their offense peaked, and like they had a 0-0 match going to OT, and the OT went for 2.5 minutes, and Paras probably played better than e- every team in the event, but still couldn't get the win because it was just G2. So if they're
Yeah.
on the other side of the bracket, I don't see why they can't make second.
Yeah, look, I think they need to just do well enough in Swiss. They can't be finishing in that fifth round. They need
Yeah,
to
get a better
qualify
seeding.
for that fourth round, get a better seeding, and then they'll have a better chance.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just while we're transitioning, how do you rate OC at the moment? How do we stack up against the world when it comes to going to the major? From what you're seeing, do you think that we can, make a difference this time round in RLCS 24?
I see, this is tough. I feel like we have this conversation every single year
Yeah.
where we say, "Oh, our teams are looking great. We're looking
Mm.
the best we've ever gone. We're making
Yeah.
top 8. I think we can make top 8." We go there, we don't make top 8. Um, and maybe I'm a bit delusional, but I think we could possibly push in that vicinity. So a ninth to 12th is definitely doable for particularly this power team. I
Not
think they
9th to
are
12th
headshot.
is a good like middle ground, I feel. Yeah.
It is. I think it's harder this year because there are less teams from North America and EU. So the likelihood of running into those teams is a lot higher, and you're not getting
Yeah.
these fifth seeded teams which power could necessarily beat. So think of
Yeah.
like EU, right?
Yeah.
Their fourth seed is going to be like a BDS or a Gentlemates.
Yeah.
No offense to power, love power, but
Yeah.
they're not beating those teams.
No, they're not.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's
not
fair.
happening at this
That's fair.
point. I think if they come up against maybe an M80 or a Dig, maybe possibly to make a top 8, they could beat those teams, but it's going to be tough again. I think until I see OC on the stage again, I can't say they're going to make top 8 confidently.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's completely fair. All right, well, let's move on to EU. And Moldy, I know that you've sent your top 16 predictions to
Yes.
Dari,
Yep.
but unfortunately this week we can't get the production on that. Could you send them to me real quick so that we could go through them?
Yep.
I'm sorry for all the people that are watching the video. We don't have it live on the video, but we will go through the teams from EU this week. Obviously, first off, we have our ins and outs. So let's talk about some of them. Let me move that to there so it's easier for my brain to process. Okay, so
Yep.
Wild, they're out. Hosky, in. So I don't even know like most of these players from EU. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like there's so much talent over there. It's like how can you keep up with the top 100 players? That
There's always talent circulating in and out every single event. It's very hard to keep
it
track of some of these teams.
it is, but like the crazy thing is like they're actually really really good. Like
Oh
really,
yeah,
they have
don't underestimate them.
promise to upset. So Plauvo, Grammar, and Ethan are in, and Wild is out with you know. I can't pronounce those names. I'm not going to try. So next team we have Yukio and his team with Yujun and Jazzy. Yep, that sounds about right.
Yep.
And 100% are out in Triton, Crispy, and Breezy. Breezy's team out. But
Yep.
Yukio,
That's
do you
surprising.
think Yukio can do some damage? Like, obviously he was on Dignitas. They were making some, I wouldn't say big waves. They were kind of like little waves that didn't really amount to anything. Do you think he can?
Hey, he was a part of one of the greatest overtimes in Rocket League history. All right, don't underestimate my man Yukio. Okay,
Hon-
he's great.
Honestly, I feel like there's like a part of everyone's heart They're just like Yukio is just there. I don't know what he had like this peak moment where everyone was like, "Yes, I love Yukio." But
Oh yeah.
forward they did F4WD for is it? Oh,
Wheel
fast four-wheel
drive.
drive. Fast four-wheel drive. Is that it?
Yeah.
They made the Swiss again through the lower brackets. Where are we here? Double elimination. Here we are. Load. Thank you. Double elimination. They dropped to lowers 2. Magnifico 3-1 and then made it through again. So they're kind of in a middle ground, right? They're not losing to teams they shouldn't and they're beating the teams they should. So
Yep.
they're definitely but it just they give me that feeling of they just can't pressure those higher teams, you know. So that they've made it again, and Redemption they're in again. Oh my gosh. So anyway, Growly, he's back. Growly, can we get a round of applause for this guy? He missed the
What a guy.
first qualifying because Dying had personal issues. Dying is a player's name, not that anyone was actually dying. But he joined a new team and they've made the second qualifying, which is great news for him. And
I'm sorry. Can I just say, whenever I see Growly on a team, it feels wrong. After the Hogan mode era,
yeah,
it just feels wrong. You know,
I feel like Hogan Mode should have tried to win a major at least.
they should have gone again.
It's kind of
Everybody said it.
it's like a lower key queso moist.
Yes, that's 100% what I was gonna say. I wish that we need that team to reform.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out Growly.
Shout out Joyo because he didn't even make the main event. So
No,
Moist
big
actually
shock there.
out. Massive shock. Joyo, Ollie, and